gotta make a good impression, right? Sorry, let's see what we got here, and oh, don't you worry, Mr. McGuire. We'll get to you at some point in the near future, but not right now. Just you wait.
Leave a bullshit. We got the biggest gig of our lives tomorrow.
I got you all into uppercase records.
We mean with the head cat himself. We get signed,
Yeah.
we be ballin'.
Yeah.
Do you mind if you can,
Don't let your kids what's it?
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Yeah, we don't talk about that. But come on, man, there's gotta be something that we can do here.
And remember, friends, the party never ends at Willys Wonderland.
Well, I don't know if necessarily you're gonna have a fun time after working a night here. That is, if you're not Nicolas Cage. But, hey, more power to you. After his car breaks down, a loner agrees to spend the night cleaning an abandoned fun center to help cover the costs of getting his car fixed, after finding out the town he's in won't accept cars and he has no cash with him. Little does he know that the place he is in has a dark history behind it and now finds himself at war with animatronic mascots possessed by the souls of deranged serial killers. At the same time, though, this won't be any ordinary night for the killers because they potentially may have just met their match. I didn't really hear or see too much going into this because at the time I wasn't really looking at a lot of like movie news and trailers, but I did watch the trailer for this one and kind of caught my eye, and I enjoyed it the first time around. I remember watching this back in February of 2021. I forgot when it came out exactly, but I remember watching it then. And just nothing too grand, nothing too, wasn't a masterpiece in filmmaking, obviously, but just a nice little thing to just have fun with and shut your brain off while eating some popcorn or candy, whatever it is that you normally have while watching a movie or show. Fast forward to all these years later in 2025, because I literally just watched this not too long ago, and I thought it'd be a fun little thing to revisit because literally I was thinking to myself after getting out of work, you know what? I'm really tired. I'm also bored. What can I possibly do before going to bed? Oh, I know. Watching Willys Wonderland. Now, how did this film stack up all these years later? Did my thoughts change? Are they the same? Well, I will definitely say, without getting into too much right away, I still enjoyed it. Nothing has changed, but I do have some small little nitpicks right here and there. So, without further ado, let's grab a snack, sit back, relax, and join me as we travel to this wacky world that is Willys Wonderland. Now, as I just mentioned, don't expect anything grand in terms of things like great acting / character development or even story, because this is just a perfect example of a movie where you can just shut your brain off. It has a lot of very goofy vibes, and it executes this idea very nicely overall in terms of those aspects. Another thing that I really liked was the cinematography for it, because you could definitely tell that this film was a low budget one for sure. And I'd say this about a lot of films that I've watched over the years, and you're probably going to hear me say this throughout the course of this YouTube channel. Something that I like about these particular films they have such a nice charm to them. They don't rely heavily on CGI. They have a lot of practical effects, and it gives off a very nice, authentic feel to them. Characters were fine. Nothing too grand, but they were serviceable. They did their job overall. And I don't think the outcome would have been the same if it weren't for the man, the myth, the legend himself, and Nicolas Cage. And Speaking of which, guess who's joining us on the show? This was a wonderful surprise. I didn't really have any guests planned for this first video, but hey, I'm not gonna complain. Come on in, Nick Cage. How you doing? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that in the film he plays a mute, lone person, and he also known as the janitor throughout the film. So he's kind of staying in character, if you know what I mean. But so how you doing? How's everything going? Is there anything you want to talk about with this particular film, like how you starred in it, what they had to do, just the overall experience? Alrighty. I guess I'll just continue on for now, and then who knows if he wants to chime in, or if you want to chime in at any point, just let me know. If you're watching this, or if you're having to listen to this, and you don't know who this man is, my friends, please do me a quick favor. Go check out his filmography. This absolute legend of a man is a true gem in everything that he plays in. Well, from what I've seen at least. Because I've heard there are a few movies here and there that are not really loved with him in it, but there's definitely other ones where he shines absolutely beautifully. And a few that stick out to me, which I enjoyed him in, are Bringing Out the Dead and Mandy, to name a few. Same goes for this movie too. I love the fact that the creative team didn't even give him any speaking role slash dialogue whatsoever. He is silent from start to finish, and his acting mainly comes from what he's presented and doing throughout the film, whether it is him dancing and acting weird and exotic while playing with the pinball machine, drinking the punch drinks from the can, to just simply mutilating each of the animatronic robots. Which, by the way, quick side note, that that punch drink looked really, really good, and is there any possible way, I know it doesn't exist, but is there any way, or were you thinking about ever selling this in stores? Alrighty. Oh man, I love this man. I love this guy. And it'd be a true treat if I actually get an opportunity to meet him in person. When or where this will happen, who knows? But hey, it'd be such a treat, you know? October of 2019 is when the film was first announced by Screen Media Films. Screenwriter and producer at the time, Geo Parsons, was advised to helm the creation of the film as a way to help kind of expand upon his early filmmaking career around the 2015-2016 timeframe. And now, once Deadline Hollywood announced Cage being a part of the project, which I believe this is where also like he didn't get like announced to be part of the film overall after. Now, once Deadline Hollywood announced with his first attempt, a short film titled Wally's Wonderland, he was displeased with the overall outcome of the product and decided to post it to the annual Bloodlist survey in an attempt to turn it into a feature-length film. And once Deadline Hollywood announced Cage being a part of the project, which I believe is where he wouldn't get announced as part of the cast until the script was finished, this caught the attention of Parsons, and he became an instant popular on site. Like, Parsons loved him, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So weeks and weeks go by, and after all the materials and crew were needed for the project, the film became a small cult following. Principal photography began in various parts of Atlanta, Georgia throughout the month of February 2020, and something that I found interesting about this was they used a desolate bowling alley in Sprayberry Crossing Shopping Center in East Cobb, Marietta, to create a fictional and wacky Willys Wonderland, which is again, kind of cool. And speaking of which, how did what was going through your head when they decided, like, hey, we're gonna turn this bowling alley into, well, Willys Wonderland? Interesting, interesting. I like that. I like that. Due to timing with this, specifically within the COVID-19 pandemic, because again, I know that was like still pretty big at the time, crew members were provided with housing facilities and a base camp due to its restrictions. Molly Coffey was the special effects production designer, and her puppetry skills were effectively used to create the visual flow of how all the 8 animatronic characters moved around both on stage and through the building. Which, again, going back to what I was saying previously, which is something that I loved because, again, helps to give it that overall authenticity using practical effects, because probably wouldn't look the best when using CGI. And yeah, look, see, even Nick Cage agrees. He definitely agrees for sure. Amoy was the musical composer for the movie, and at the same time of its small theatrical release on February 12th, 2021, which, there you go, timing was timing was perfect because it released on the same month that I got to watch this. Film Tracks Ltd would also release the soundtrack as well. Initially, it was supposed to come out in October 30th of 2020, but again, since the pandemic was making theaters close worldwide, they announced it would release digitally on January 15th of 2021. Places overseas, however, like Saudi Arabia, unfortunately wouldn't be able to view the film until September of 2021, which, yeah, that that pandemic put a damper on everything. How dare you? Now moving into the box office numbers and critical responses. As far as both of them go, it was overall fairly solid. Sites like Rotten Tomatoes scored it at 61%, and in accordance with their review, it states Willy's Wonderland isn't quite as much fun as its premise would suggest, but it's still got Nicolas Cage beating the hell out of bloodthirsty animatronics, which is nice. On the other hand, sites like Metacritic rated at 44 out of 100, with responses being dubbed as mixed or average reviews. This film is not meant to be a grand piece of art, like I said previously. It's something to enjoy the stupidity of, but I do understand that at the same time, it's not meant for everyone, and for those who don't like it, you're wrong. No, I'm just kidding. It's okay. I respect your opinion. To each their own, right? Yeah. It's okay. Nick. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I was just making a joke. I thought it'd be fun to make. As mentioned previously, I love the overall simplicity of it. There are definitely times while I watch movies or even shows where I get lost and confused at certain points, and a lot of that just has to do with bringing in way too many characters at once, or plot devices, or just presenting the plot in the most convoluted way possible. Another factor can be marketing, but again, that could just be like hit and miss with how they present it. You don't have to worry about it too much here. It gets you from point A to point B with not getting lost too much, at least for me. Oh yeah, and before I forget, this film heavily feels like the popular video game Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, obviously, doing research on this, their director has gone out and say this is not trying to be a ripoff, it's not trying to be a prequel or a sequel to that in any way, shape, or form. But you can definitely tell that there's heavy aspects that you notice throughout the film, especially with again, an abandoned fun center where you have colorful animatronics. Yeah, their souls are possessed. While this uses deranged serial killers, I know FNAF uses the souls of kids, going a little bit into the lore. And Five Nights at Freddy's is something I don't really know too much about, but I know the basic concept of how the games work, And I know a little bit about the lore, which is where the overall idea of like the kids come into play. But if you guys want to see anything like that, cover anything FNAF related, please let me know in the comments, and I will definitely suffice in some way, shape, or form. Just wanted to point that out before I forget, because again, this heavily, you can definitely notice some aspects were taken from that particular game specifically, and nothing bad or anything. I just found it to be cool. Getting into some nitpicks here and there, even though that my opinions still stay the same from when I first watched this film till now, I did come across a few things here and there that I kind of wish could have been improved a little better. And one of those being, it felt very rinse and repeat in a way. And I say that because when Nick's characters like killing the animatronics off and then like cleaning, killing, cleaning, there's not a lot of weight. It feels very weightless, or there's not like a lot of tension in a way. And again, I don't know how you could have incorporated into something with a film like this, especially with its budget. There's ways you could probably work around that, but basically what I'm trying to say is I kind of wish that there was a little more tension and like suspense within the fights. Doesn't have to be anything grand, but just a little bit of flair, a little bit of salt. Kind of kind of like adding salt or pepper or some sort of seasoning to help give more depth to that overall dish, if you will. Another thing that I really didn't like was, or well, it's not necessarily that I didn't like it, it just didn't really make any sense. You know, obviously, there's a female protagonist that has some history with the overall with the overall place, because again, it was once run by serial killers, and to avoid getting caught by the police, they did like a ritual sacrifice, and their souls got transplanted into the characters. So I understand why she wants to basically burn the place down, erase it from her memory, but it kind of didn't really make any sense why the other guys were there, like the other group of people that were there with them. I don't know, something that I just noticed while watching. It just felt very off in a way for me, and if I'm missing something, I probably am. Please let me know in the comments section below. I will love to hear your thoughts on that topic specifically. But I don't know, Nick. Nick? Nick, where are you going? Nick?
Gorilla greetings.
Okay, looks like we had another uninvited guest in one of the animatronics. I believe that was Gus Gorilla, but you know, he killed him off, so that's pretty much it for him. So I guess with that in mind, we could pretty much wrap it up here for now. So, in conclusion, I really like this film. It's definitely nothing grand, like I said, but a nice, solid popcorn flick. And even though it heavily uses aspects from Five Nights at Freddy's, I still think they were able to incorporate what they had to work with very nicely. Story was simplistic, characters served their purpose. Nicolas Cage was a true gem as always. And again, please go check out his filmography if you haven't. Guys, thank you so much for watching this. I really appreciate it. And for my rating for this film, I would give Willys Wonderland a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are awesome. Look forward to more content coming very, very soon, similar to this one. And I also have a podcast on Spotify called The Film Chill, where I essentially do the same thing there, where I have planned to do here on YouTube, where I talk about movies, TV shows, and just general life topics. Please go show some love to that and also to this channel. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.